Hello everybody and welcome. Today you'll notice that I'm wearing a festive mask, but we are over at Dead City Haunted House to check out their Krampus night. It's just only a 2-night event and it should be super fun. So let's go check it out. I won't be able to film inside of it because, you know, haunted house and they don't like that. So I'll show you what I can and then we'll go in. Alright, so we just made it outside the haunted house and what a good experience it was. It was super fun, very festive. The whole haunt had Christmas lights around it and all the characters were pretty, like, I would say like 95% of the characters were like Christmas characters. Jack Frost. Alright, so I moved out of the way. But you start off in like a little house area and you can see that Krampus is taking over this desert house and all the monsters around it have Santa hats on and whatnot. I'll put a couple pictures here and I'll even take a picture with Krampus right here, which was awesome. What a good time was that. You know, who doesn't love being in the nihilist? And they even give you naughty or nice tickets, and everyone got naughty because, you know, you're going to a haunted house and you've been naughty and Krampus is going to come for you. But also on the back of it even tells you a little bit about who Krampus is. This is what their characters look like. If not, I'll throw a photo in and make it show. But yeah, they even tell you who Krampus is. You start off, you get this little intro. It was a really nice video too. I thought it looked really good. Nothing seemed too different in the haunt from previous years, but everything had all the Christmas effects onto it. Super good time. One of the things that I was okay with, I didn't feel love, is they had a lot of stuff dangling in your face, and with everything going on, not my favorite. The other thing I didn't care for was there wasn't people really forcing social distancing until one point. One person did, and I really appreciate that one person who forced it. But for the most part, you weren't with people the whole time, so it felt okay. Alright, so we are back home from Dead City's Krampus night. So, I kind of got caught off because it was really cold and there was a lot of people coming, so I figured just finish the stuff out over at the house, so makes sense, right? So, once you got into the spooky house, you would go into kind of the house. There was a couple good jumps this year that I was not expecting. They had little things come flying out at you and like be like this close to your face. You're like, it makes you step back really close. And there was a lot of them. There's a lot of jump scares that I was never experienced before at Dead City. There was a whole bunch of jump scares that I have never experienced at Dead City before, so that was pretty neat. So while you're walking through the house, you would get like types of elves, I would say, and Krampus jumping out through different corners. It's really interesting how they have it set up. They have an actor who kind of sits right in the middle of like 5 different rooms, so they can go back and forth between all these rooms and scare people, which I think is a really like good idea. Also, I'm like, you must be exhausted because you're going back and forth, back and forth. So after you get past the little house, you kind of go outside and there's this like giant werewolf thing that looks like it's about to hit you in the head. You have to kind of crouch down and stuff. So that was pretty neat. And they all had like Christmas lights on them, so that's always cute. Now, if I'm remembering right, and then you would head into like this Egyptian area slash like jungle area, which you would see like there's golden treasure that is sacred treasures, and then all these Egyptian types things and like animatronics. They have tons of animatronics at Dead City. That's one of their high things, is they have tons of animatronics, which I think is cool. I don't see a lot of haunted houses have that many animatronics. I wish there was a little bit more variety to them, but I'm not complaining too much. That's a very minor complaint compared to how much I really enjoyed it. The other thing while you're going through there, let's see. It did feel kind of weird to have Jack Frost coming out at you while you're in a desert area. Just a little bit. Nothing too weird, but just a little bit. Now, one of their new scenes that I believe is new this year is they had this really cool morgue area that looked like people were like in a morgue. A whole bunch of dead bodies, and one would go at you, and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And there was like a little holly around there. I'll get some photos. They posted a couple photos up, so I'll try to use those to kind of show you what I'm talking about, because I think it was pretty neat. And there was like a body bag that lifted up at you. I also almost forgot to talk about, they had a huge like medical area. It was ginormous. It was huge. Pretty much while you're walking through this, you keep going like back and forth. And there's like millions of shockers, Jacob ladders in there, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna get electrocuted in here. And yeah, people are slamming on metal desks and stuff. And yeah, I totally forgot this huge area. But yes, this is part of it. There's skeletons all wrapped up in Christmas lights in this area. Medical people just dressed as elves, or elves dressed as medical people. Maybe that's the proper term. But there you go. I forgot that whole area. So that's why you go from medical to morgue, I believe. So that's what I missed. And then we head into my favorite area of Dead Sea. My all-time favorite area is their vampire area. So it looks like your old outside of an old chapel area. And they have all these cool windows that will flash on like when the lightning hits, and they'll all turn red, and you can kind of see the room for a second, and then it's dark again. And there's a vampire in there that was trying his best, and he was scaring us. And then it would get dark again, and then he'd scare us again. And yeah, it was a really cool effect. And then you head into this dining room where everyone's heads are cut off. Ooh, but they're festive, they're having Christmas dinner. What a weird sentence is Christmas dinner, festive, no heads. And then usually you would go through a coffin, but I think they're trying to keep it safe this year, so you kind of just go into this laser maze area. And the lights would go off, and you have to try to like crouch down the whole entire time. That was the only thing I didn't love, was crouching down, because I'm like, my back hurts. I don't want to keep walking like this for more than 2 minutes, and it was a little bit more than 2 minutes. Then if I remember right, you go into the, one of the things I forgot to even talk about was they had this really cool projection of Krampus. Like it was this huge wall, like the size of like that whole arcade cabinet behind me. Like Krampus like doing like, no, no, no. And like, it was like they filmed it and all, but it was really cool. I really thought it was a fun little special effect to have projectors showing your characters off. I think I really personally enjoyed that. Add this, that little bit of, ooh, that's really cool. And then you head into this doll area where there's a whole bunch of dolls, and then this completely black area where you have to try to navigate through it while there's like stuff popping at you. There's a lot of poppers. I think I say that at the end of this video because they filmed the outro while I was there. So you sneak through that area and get scared by all the poppers, and pretty much after that you go down into their super good clown area. It's a lot of stuff. It's from a local artist. He's done a lot of the haunted houses. He does a lot of really cool artwork. I'll throw in a couple photos of that, and that's all decked out. The clowns were doing so well. There was like this Mrs. Claus clown person who was like trying to social distance us throughout the maze, and she did really well by kind of keeping it scary, but also keeping it very Christmassy. The one scare that got me really well was just in their corner, there was a bear that just was sitting there like a big stuffed bear, and it went at me. I was like, ah! It was super scary. And they didn't have you go through like a maze. They usually have like secret passages that you have to sneak through, but this time they're just trying to get you through the maze. And then pretty much you go through it at the end, and that's kind of it. The end was a little disappointing. There wasn't anything added. It was just a whole bunch of loud noises, and then you're done. So that would be the only thing I was a little disappointed about, was there was not a big finale or chainsaw. But oh well. And also you could feel how cold it was. The breeze was coming through the back door. You're like, I'm going to freeze. It probably feels great to be those actors in those hot costumes, but whew, that was some cold air. But overall, it was a really fun experience. I forgot to say, we got to even get a photo op with Jack Frost, and he was wearing a mask, which was very appreciated, even though it looks kind of silly with his big chin, big nose. But I always love getting a photo with Jack Frost. And it was just a good time. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, there was a couple things that I didn't love, but I think Dead Sea is getting better and better every year. They're still a very brand new haunt, and I hope they continue to do this tradition, because I would like to go to this every single year, and I really enjoyed it. So, overall, 8 out of 10. I think an 8 out of 10 feels very fair for this haunt. So, back to previous Jake. But you go through the rest of the haunt, a lot of shockers. It actually felt very much more organized than previous years, where you just have a straight path you go through, and you have to try to go through mazes, which I really liked. It took about 30 minutes, so maybe like 40 minutes to get through the whole haunt, which isn't bad for a haunt. It was a little cheaper tonight, so not bad. I recommend it overall. I hope they keep doing this and it keeps improving over years. So overall, I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10 because of how fun it was. So we'll see where we decide to roam and wander next.